All right, Chicago Hockey Radio postgame shows. Justin Lynch, Lee Grossman, Tassos Kirkos in the house. Hawks lose 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks on home ice, and I didn't really think we were going to be doing this one this way, fellas. But we had a boots on the ground. We had a member of the podcast in attendance at the game tonight. Lee, how are we feeling? Besides a little under the weather.
Yeah, a little under. I feel like I'm freezing now after just scootering back and getting back to my apartment in 6.5 minutes was how long that scooter took from the United Center to my apartment. Very cold. I braved the elements with my younger sister. It was fun. Everything besides the result. Like, honestly, I went there and I was just like, I honestly don't even care about the result. I just want to go to a game. I haven't been to a game all season. It was nice to be there. We moved, we got $18 300 level tickets an hour before puck drop, and then moved down to like the front of the 100 level. So that was sick. Maybe we'll have to make a little tutorial down the road here of how to do that.
It's funny. All the Blackhawks games I've been to throughout the years, they've always been in the nosebleeds in the 300 level. I have not once sat down there. I don't even know what it looks like down there because I'm always up high. Dude. I never even thought to do that.
Dude, I've never been down. I've gone down close to the ice, like by the glass for warm-ups. I have never been down in the 100 level for seats for a game. So yeah, we were sitting up there for the first period up in the 300, and I said to my sister, I'm like, we should just go do it. We should go try. Like, what's the worst? They're not going to drag us by our collars and throw us out of the stadium. They're just going to be like, no, you have to have tickets to get down here. And to be fair, that's what happened. We got down there. We went to like the 115 level or something. And I tried to walk in. This lady was like, hold up. Do you have your ticket? And I was like, no. And then we walked back and I was like, let's try one more. So we just walked the next section over, like literally 14 steps. We just walked to the right and all these people were filing in. The lady at the front there was not checking tickets at all. We just walked in. And we're asking people like, hey, is there anybody sitting here? Hey, is there anyone sitting here? And then this one lady was like, no, this row's wide open. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was cool. And then also I obviously, if you guys follow the Instagram, I was spamming on the Instagram tonight and a fellow CHR enjoyer, Will DeCaro. I'm sorry, Will, if I'm butchering your last name, but he DM'd us and was like, yo, I'm here. Like, let's meet up. And I was like, I sent him the section. And he pulled up for the entire second period and just chilled with me. And we just talked Hawks, everything there was to talk about for like 15 minutes. And that was fucking awesome. Like, that's why I enjoy doing this, is like accessing a community of people who feel the same way about the same team as me. So shout out to you. I don't know if you're listening, but I appreciate you, my boy.
That's what it's all about. Whose jersey you wearing there? I see you got a home Hawks jersey.
Sorry, yeah, I'm so cold that I'm wearing a blankie.
That is a Bedsy. Okay, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Bedsy. And then I gave my sister one of my Kane jerseys. So we pulled up and repped. Did not. There he is. Brian Harris, his alias. Great talking to you, my boy. Hopefully next time we go to games, like that would be sick if we all go to games together, and then everybody that's there that watches our content, we all just hang out during intermissions and just talk shit.
That'd be sick.
Try to find open seats together and stuff and all sit together. That would be fucking awesome.
That's what it's all about, the camaraderie, the community. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So that was dope. Besides the loss.
How was the game?
Yeah. Frustrating. Look, we actually started better than we've been starting. I thought we had a pretty good start, honestly. We got on the board first with a Jason Dickinson goal.
What a pass by Bedard.
Yeah, how did that look on TV? Because it looked unbelievable.
Oh, beautiful. Absolute beautiful sauce. You could not have placed a better pass. So, and good to see from today from Bedard too. 2 assists, 2 points, multi-point game. You know, he went like 3 games without producing. So good for him. Good for his confidence. I think if there's like one positive takeaway, there's probably a few, but the biggest positive takeaway from his game is how good he looked in that wing with Jason Dickinson as the center. I think that worked really nicely. And if I'm Luke Richardson, I keep that going for a little while. He probably won't, because as we know, Luke Richardson loves to change things up. And I guarantee you next game will probably be a completely different lineup. But I do think Bedard and Dickinson's wing worked well tonight, I will say.
Yeah, I think you got to keep that right for a couple games. Like letting, and I saw it tonight, like Bedard would kind of just start leaving the zone a little quicker. And was definitely looking to be more aggressive
He
offensively.
was so much more confident today.
Confident and just like
Yeah.
off the puck too. He just looked like he was trying to get into open areas more and was less worried about defensive responsibilities. So I think you gotta leave this for a couple games. Just get him on the board a few times, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
still waiting for him to score a goal, but we'll get there. I think he was, yeah, you can see it. I think you keep him there for a little while and they'll come. Yeah.
yeah, Tassos, do you agree with that? Maybe keep him on Dickinson's wing. I know you
Yeah, I
talked
think
against that.
I think you're gonna keep it here for a little bit
Yeah.
going. I don't know how you not. I think this game is kind of a tough loss for the Hawks.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't really think after that second Dickinson goal went in that we would be here talking about this game this way.
Yeah, it felt like one we're going to win, but
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you shouldn't ever feel that way if this Blackhawks team, right? Nothing's ever a certainty.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was kind of different than a lot of these games where we've talked about the really slow starts and the really strong finishes. This kind of felt like the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good start and kind of a puzzling finish to the hockey game here. So I don't know.
They had
And
as
again,
much shots on goal in the first period as they had the rest of the game combined. The
Really?
second, third period, they have 5 shots on goal in the second, third period each.
I
So
didn't
yeah,
even know that.
20 shots on goal. But I do think there were more high quality grade A chances today. I will say that, but it did feel like, yeah, the opposite, where we took the foot off the gas a little bit, except for the very end. We've had a few opportunities to tie these games up late. We've only done it once. Bertuzzi late in that Kings game. Otherwise, we've never been able to seal the deal. They're always getting narrowly edged each game. I mean, how many games we're losing by 1 or 2 goals? It's like deja vu, right? But yeah, you look at this game going into it against a Ducks team that we've owned in recent memory, especially 2 weeks ago. That was the last game this team scored more than 2 goals in a game. The last seven games the Blackhawks have played, they've only managed to score 1 or 2 goals. 1 goal 5 times, 2 goals twice. So that's pretty. That's a big yikes right there. And,
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. You had one last point?
And one of those, the 2 goal games was, the overtime game. So this was the first time we have more than 1 goal in regulation the last 7 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're straight up not good enough, honestly.
Yeah.
You can't like it when you see on these betting websites the over underline for total goals is always 2.5. It's hard to win hockey games in the NHL if you're consistently scoring less than that 2.5 mark, and that's what the Blackhawks have been doing consistently this season. I decided I was going to place just a couple. I don't do this every game, not even close, because I know how bad the Hawks are. But I decided to place a couple wagers going to this game because I was like, let me pay for my $25 ticket, whatever.
What'd you come away with?
So my main bet that I put $25 on was an alternate. The total goals for the game was 6.5. I took an alternate total of over 5.5 goals, and then a Connor Bedard point. And obviously, the score ended 3-2. So I would have been happy with an empty net there for Anaheim.
Yeah.
That would have paid for my admission, but it didn't happen. I want to say shout out to Quinn English in chat. He said love the combo on the second goal.
He's always active. Yeah.
He's always active. He also DM'd me at the game, and he said that I might have to start going more because if we win this game, I'm going to be the good luck. But we lost. So Quinn, I do not have to regularly attend these games when I don't want to. I beat those allegations of being the good luck charm. So I will take that.
Really? You're saying that like it's a good thing. You don't want to go to more games.
Yeah, what?
Not if I have to. Not if I have to.
I mean, I know this team's not always, the funnest to. I will say though, I do think this game was more fun to watch than some of those recent snooze fests. I don't think this was a snooze fest. I think this was an entertaining game. I don't know if Richardson made it besides the lineup. It felt like the system was a little different today. Maybe the reins were taken off a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that personally, but just it felt like we were a little less conservative, again, more involved in the offensive zone. I don't know if you noticed anything there, but I was definitely noticing that.
I noticed that more like individually too. Like I just saw Alec Vlasic went on the CHGO podcast yesterday and talked about how Seth being out, and so now he's going to have to step up a little bit here.
He was great today.
Dude, he was unbelievable. Seeing him in person, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is so big.
So much potential.
Dude, so much. He's going to be a nightmare for this league for a long time. Dude, the bomb this guy has. I can't wait for this guy to start turning into an offensive beast because the bomb this guy has, he had a couple shots in the first period where I was like, holy shit, I would not want to be in front of that.
And he's such a good skater too. So yeah, I mean, he definitely has the tools there to be a good two-way defender in this league. I will say that's one good thing about Seth being out is it does allow Vlasic to kind of be the 1D on this team and really kind of emerge there and kind of expand his game. But there are more negatives to it though, because I think was a game watching it where it's like you definitely miss Seth Jones out there. I mean, I think just what he brings, a couple really bad defensive goals there in the end. I mean, Martinez and Brody, rough nights for both of them in the second and third Ducks goals. Well, I think the first one for Brody, the third one for Martinez. But yeah, definitely missing Jones out there. And yeah, that's going to be tough with that defense. It's like we're trying to win these close, low scoring games, and you have one of our best defensemen out, and that's going to make it tricky, right?
Yeah, I didn't think Wyatt Kaiser had that great of a game. Finally seeing him in person.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just looks a little lost out there, if I'm being honest. Just like instinct wise, like if you watch Vlasic and then him on the next shift, it's like you guys are in other worlds. Not even like physical abilities or anything like that. Just like instinctual. Like you see Vlasic taking off to the boards because you think there's going to be a bounce there 3 seconds before you see Kaiser doing it. So. Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to take the good with the bad, obviously. And I know Tassos doesn't want to hear this, but Macklin Celebrini overtime winner last night in San Jose, and us losing to Anaheim, Chicago are firmly in the last place in the NHL.
Macklin Celebrini has more goals than Bedsy, but yeah, I mean, kind of going back on that. But yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? Yeah.
We didn't want to fire up the tank this year. I know we didn't want to, but at what point do you think to yourself, when do we get the petrol?
Not November 19th. I hope.
Yeah, you would hope so. I want to expand on some of the young defenseman talk, though. I think on the positive side, though, I think Nolan Allen's looked pretty good. I don't think we've really talked too much about Nolan Allen but I think he's looked pretty solid. He looks like an NHL defenseman to me, so I think that's the positive end of it. But
I thought tonight was one of his best games. Totally.
Yeah, I thought he had some good opportunities there. He had a shot, like a pretty good opportunity to score. Still looking for that first goal. He has a few assists. But yeah, maybe need to get Crevier there over Kaiser the way he's looked lately. Yeah.
We got a DM about Louis Crevier. Can you believe that? I can't believe that.
He was actually, you know what? Last season he was actually
slandering on him too much. Yeah, we were hating onLouis Crevier too much.
Really? I don't think his name has come up out of my mouth a single time.
I don't know if we were hating him. I think I was just saying I was surprised he was called up over other.
I'm just telling you what the DM said. I'm just it was all of us. We were all wearing
our fault.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, my bad. Yeah, but yeah.
Shout out to you, Louis Crevier fans out there. We don't want to step on any toes. We just want what's best for this team. It's never personal. I think a lot of the guys on this team are great people, but they're not all just as good as each other at the game of hockey, and that is the unfortunate reality. Somebody in chat, Quinn said, "What are the odds Vlasic ends up top 20 in the league by the end of the season?"
I mean, I think he's really strong, but maybe top 20. That's stretching it.
Maybe a little stretch right now, but like if you're talking just like shutdown guy, yeah.
Oh, defensive defenseman, he's like top 10. For sure.
Dude, he's a nightmare. Just like watching him out there tonight, it's like, oh my gosh, that guy looks like a nightmare to play against. He's so strong and long, and as I said earlier, he just like reads the game so well. I think that guy's going to be a juggernaut for us going forward, and I do genuinely think, Quinn, that he will get to that level. I don't know if it's going to be this season, but I think eventually.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Vlasic, I think a lot of Chicago fans appreciate him too, right? Because he's got that connection. I think he's going to be a hometown hero of this team for years to come, a cult hero amongst his fan base for sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real bounce back game for Bedard today. I don't know if it was playing the wing or maybe playing with somebody that can actually like finish like Jason Dickinson. But it was, I don't know if Dickinson's just the perfect line mate for him.
I think that helps out Dickinson too, right? Because like he hasn't been finishing the way he was last season until today, right? You put Bedard as wing, and suddenly that opens up his game because he's got a good shot. I mean, Dickinson's got probably a top 3 shot on his team. So it's like you give him those opportunities to produce more in the offensive zone of a guy like Bedson. That's going to unlock his game too. So yeah, it's good for both players, I think. And yeah, keep them together, Luke. Like that's the one thing I will say. I mean, a lot of questionable decisions of this lineup, but I do think you cooked there. But get somebody else up there with them. What is Joey Anderson doing in the top line there? He provides nothing. Get Teravainen up there. He assisted on the second goal. Anderson wasn't even out there. Get Kurashev, Reichel, just Bertuzzi. Anybody else? Hall. literally anybody else. Why is Joey Anderson playing on the first line? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I've got some buddies texting me in the middle of this show right now, saying a screenshot of Bedard's stats so far this season. They don't watch hockey. They just like to talk shit to me.
Okay, that's you can only take away so much from just the
But
base goals,
they're
assists,
like
points.
this is who we were told is generational, 3 goals in 19 games. Good fucking night.
Yeah,
I
casual
also
fans there.
it's not just casual fans. I have like genuinely heard like I heard Barstool Chief from Barstool talking about Bedard on the Bear show yesterday. Who by the way I do like Chief, but he was just saying kind of the same thing. Just like we thought this was going to be like an Art Ross Hart Trophy McDavid type player, and it's just clear
Okay.
that
But
he's
that's
not.
somebody that doesn't know.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm like, are you being serious? Like anybody who knows, just like you don't even have to do the eye test on Bedard. You can just look at like other scenarios this year, like the player that Alexis Lafreniere is turning into, and like he was not even supposed to be as good as Bedard, but he had some lofty expectations, and then everybody was calling him a bust. And now he's going to be the best contract in the league,
Look,
and probably a perennial 80 point, like point per game guy.
Sophomore slumps are not an uncommon thing. I will admit, I didn't think it was going to happen to Bedsy because I do think he is a generational player, and I stand by that. But I think he's starting to come out of it now. I think he will come out of it. I think he needed a game like this. I think he's going to carry that over. But yeah, if you're making that judgment, he's still a teenager on this shitty Hawks team the past 2 years. He's got nobody even the same stratosphere as him skill-wise.
Yeah.
He's the only player Davidson's drafted who's on this team right now. All of the other developing players are either in Rockford or juniors. So I mean, you can't make that judgment now, and he's still been great. So that's a bunch of baloney by these people. I don't know.
It's crazy. So to anyone,
I'm afraid.
Anybody listening to us, if you hear friends or anybody on the internet saying some of these similar things that we're alluding to, just don't even bother arguing with it, because at the end of the day, they just don't know puck. If you watch this kid, you know what he is, and that's a generational talent. And 3 goals in 19 games in a sophomore slump is not making me any nervous at all. Holt Hogan said in chat that Nazer had 2 goals in Rockford today. Is that true? Can we get a confirmation on that? Big if true.
I'm sure if he said it, it's true.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's some shit I would do.
That'd be a pretty wild thing. That'd be a pretty wild thing to throw in the chat.
As someone who also loves spreading misinformation on the internet, I wouldn't.
That's the podcast host we employ.
Yeah, dude, it's the best of the best right there.
What else? I don't know. We could talk Soderblom, or we could talk some of the guys maybe that we didn't love tonight. I thought Soderblom was good. He made the saves. That the Killorn goal was kind of a killer. That was a backbreaker for them, I feel like. Minchkov goal, nothing really you can do about that. And same one on the Leo Carlson. No, the Minchkov was the first one. But the Leo Carlson goal, that the third one, that one's just, you go to the net with your stick on the ice.
Yeah.
Right? Get good body position.
I thought he had a particularly pretty good game, honestly. I sat right behind him for the entire second period, and I thought he was really strong in that second period. Obviously didn't give up a goal in that time and faced a lot of the shots. But yeah, I mean, it's just like when you score a couple goals in the first half of the game and then can't do anything for the rest of the game, it's hard to keep a team in these games in the NHL level.
I'm back now, guys. I don't know what happened. My headphones just like malfunctioned for a second, so I couldn't hear anything, but I got the problem fixed, so I could hear you guys now.
All right,
so,
there we
thoughts
go.
on Sodi?
Yeah, I think another good game from him. I mean, it's funny. This was probably one of his weaker games, 3 goals and 24 shots, but it shows you how good he's been this season. But I don't really put those goals on him. I think it was more just bad defense. So I thought he was good today, and it kind of carries over the form he's had this season, which has been good to see. Yeah.
Frank Nazer did have 2 goals on the night.
2 goals, 15 points in 12 games in Rockford. Call this man up. I say it every single show, and I will say it this show. I mean, the way he looks, I've been watching the games. He looks like an NHL player down there.
Yeah, by the way, these aren't garbage goals. If you guys go and watch the goals from the night, they're pretty gross.
I mean, if it's a team that's starved for offense, we have 43 goals or something, 45, whatever it is. I mean, get that guy, insert him in that top 6. Boom. Like, that's a big boom for this team. I really think it would be.
A big boom for this team. Yeah,
We bring the boom.
bring the boom. No, I
Is
agree.
isn't that the second? All right.
Yeah, that is bring the boom counter. Can we get that in chat? Second, bring the boom of the week. Unacceptable, honestly, and we apologize, and it won't happen again.
The Rizzler or Big Justice?
Can we talk about some guys that were zeros tonight? I thought Tyler Bertuzzi was a zero tonight. I thought Taylor Hall was a relative zero tonight. Lucas
Haven't heard that
Reichel.
before this season. Yeah, I mean, I thought Reichel looked good, though, which, like, I mean, that's kind of the story of Reichel's career, where it's like a lot of these games he looks good, but there's no production. But I think he had some early in the season, but it's kind of gone away. But, I mean, it's hard in that fourth line. I think you got to play him in that top six. I think put Reichel in that top six, like, the production will come back. So I think he's looked good. I mean, Bertuzzi and Hall, I don't even know if I could say that for those two.
I thought Hall looked better than Bertuzzi. Hall at least looks like he's, like, hungry out there and trying to get something going. But, again, this play style, the dump and chase, like forecheck play style, is not Taylor Hall's game. Taylor Hall wants to carry the puck in the offensive zone and get the puck cycling. He does not want to dump and then chase after it. It's like every time he's on the puck, he's trying to go a million miles an hour and get across the blue line. And we just haven't really paired him up with anybody else that wants to do that. I think Bedard would be a good, maybe throw Hall up on that. I don't want to mix up the lines. We'll keep Joey Anderson up there for a couple games. But after this inevitably stops working as well, throw Taylor Hall up there on the line with Bedard. Let him carry the puck in the zone and then dish it off to the Bedard.
No, I will say if there's one change I make, which I know Ben Oliver don't change the lines, but if there's one change I make, no, Joey Anderson, get them the hell off that first line. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, anybody else up there. Everything else keep the same. Richardson said he wants more continuity. Okay, then let's see that continuity. Let's not fuck with the lines for once.
Yeah. Unless he's just doing stuff that I'm not seeing. I don't think he was, too impressive tonight on that one.
He was a ghost on that line. He was coasting off of bed.
He just looked like he was behind the play a little bit,
He's just not a first line player. Simple as that.
Yeah. Point made.
Yeah. How you guys feeling about that Thursday game? Florida Panthers defending Stanley Cup champs. Oof, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. Me and Will were talking about that at intermission tonight. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one unless Florida comes into town, and because I think it's here, right? Unless they come into town and just completely mail one in because we're the worst team in the league, I think that has potential to be a beating, because it's like, what a horrible style matchup. Essentially two teams trying to do similar things, but
Florida's actually built for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have the players who can complement that system. We don't. Two teams one's going for a cup and we're going for the lottery. I mean, there you go.
Yeah, Florida is literally like the model of a team for this play style. Like that's who you watch film of to be like, here's how we do it. And we are also a team you watch film on, but just not how not to do it. So I'd say that's the difference between us and Florida.
Nobody tanks better than the Blackhawks the last 3 years. I mean, we got down, man.
That's true.
I mean, these Ducks are on a back-to-back. You're like, oh, we should walk over these guys, and then we lead, and then we blow it. And it's like this team just finds a way to lose these close games. Yeah.
Who knows? How about maybe the Ducks? Any Ducks thoughts? Any Ducks?
Well, I'm surprised. I look at they're actually 500, so I think maybe they're better than I've given them credit for. But no, I mean, it's good for them. Like they finally got to progress, because they've been the basement for a long time now. So, and it's like they have a lot of talent. That teammate Cutter Gaucher's finally started to get going. Carlson, another big game for him. I mean, Zekers, still kind of not doing a lot, but he's starting to get going. So no, there's a lot to like in that team. Michikov too on defense. He did. I think he had an assist in the second goal. Which that one sucked, because that was like right when the power play ended too. So it's like, you gotta be kidding me. But yeah,
he had assists on the second and third goals. 2 assists.
Oh, he did. Oh, 2 assists. Okay, just like Betsy. So yeah, he's finally started to get going. But yeah, I mean, Michikov on defense, he's pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, I think they're finally starting to look decent. I mean, early in the season, I know it's kind of rough. I don't know how the fans feel about Greg Cronin, but I think maybe the system finally starting to work a little bit. Yeah.
Michikov's good. That's a good hockey player.
They're on a 3-game win streak, I think, right? 3 or 4.
That's right. Yeah.
They are currently 20th in the NHL standings right now. Top 20, top 2/3.
It's much higher than I would have thought. Yeah.
But they're barely 500.
They're exactly 500. Yeah.
Just behind the Boston Bruins, who fired Joe Montgomery. So
how about that? 8-9-3.
That'll
730 win percentage over 3 years.
I imagine that'll be our headliner on the NHL hour of tomorrow's podcast.
Absolutely.
But yeah, all right. That's enough Anaheim Ducks talk. Any other thoughts from the game tonight, gentlemen?
I don't think so. I think I've exhausted everything I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, props to you for still, doing this after that game. I know you're not feeling that great. So, yeah, you're really chugging along there. Pretty impressive performance.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a real grind what we do here.
The show must go on.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think I really have much else.
Cool. Subscribe to this podcast, subscribe to this YouTube channel at Chicago Hockey Radio. Follow us on Instagram at Chicago Hockey Radio, and leave a 5-star rating and review, please. If you've made it this far, that means you must kind of like what we're doing here. So if you kind of like what we're doing here and you want to do things like meet Lee, you can do all of those fun things, and it really helps us out. Tell a friend about this. Post it on your social media. Post the show on your social media. Tag us in it, and you will get some special love in the DMs from us. And
A kiss on the cheek or something.
yeah, I don't know. We need all the help we can get. Tell a friend. Tell a Blackhawks fan in your life. We know you guys got plenty of Blackhawks fans in your life, family, friends.
Also,
Parents,
unks love
siblings.
us. Uncles love us, dude. I swear, my dad's like always trying to my dad can't figure out how to just look up Chicago Hockey Radio, so he constantly asks me to send him a link. But I oblige, and he sends links to like all my family. So I guess maybe that's just the family bump, but I do think that unks love us. So put the unks on.
My grandpa does the same thing. It's like, how do I get this? Like, it's the same thing every time. But yeah, I appreciate the support though from the fan.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, we love them. We love them nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Keep on doing it. So subscribe, follow us on Instagram, leave a 5-star rating or review. Do it on both. Do it on everything. You don't have to limit yourself. All right. We will be back tomorrow. No Lee on the podcast, so just me and Justin kicking it. We might bring on our first interview of the show. We might not. Also, we'll see if I can book a guest. But other than that'll do it. And we'll be back Thursday too for post games after Florida.
All right. We'll see you then.
Peace out, boys. Appreciate all the love.